Hello, hello. Welcome to Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Just for Stigma Buster, before we get into any of the actual shenanigans of the evening, I need to pause the music. We're going to switch over to a YouTube video I found. I don't even know if this is going to be any good, but it's on topic. 9 candles extinguished with a single punch.
My name's Adam Hook.
You're the candles, I'm this dude.
And today I'm doing the Khan challenge, I guess. Mr. Khan, the fastest boxer in the world, he punched out the fire from 8 candles in one shot.
Oh, we need to watch him light it too? Come on, dude.
I'm going to show you that I can do that too. I've been doing this stuff since high school. It's easy, man. I'm going to punch out 9.
This guy's even more time on his hands than we Hex players do.
9 candles from a crouched position. I'm not even going to stand up.
I would think crouched is easier because you've got a good angle. Ooh.
There you go. 9 candles.
Ooh.
Beat that, Khan.
So what's this stream about? I am a newbie to the Hex streams. Alright, so we'll get back over into the actual shenanigans here, and I'm going to start the music back up again. And oh my god, I'm blasting my ears out. Okay, so Dungeon Masters of Entrath is a game show I run every week where I take on the role of Dungeon Master, and I have designed a series of decks for people to play against. And I'm going to throw up the dungeon map for you here. This dungeon originally had 21 different decks in it and 4 final bosses, represented by pillars 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, everybody starts in room 1. Each node corresponds to a specific deck. Matches are best of 1. When you play against one of the decks and you win, then you get to choose which deck you want to move to down the line. If you make it all the way to one of the final pillars and defeat the final boss, you win the grand prize. If you lose anywhere along the way, your run is done, and the grand prize builds for the next person who's challenging the dungeon. The current format for this is Immortal format, so all sets are allowed. Your decks may include common and uncommon cards only, no rares, no legendaries. You will observe that for many of these decks, my decks will include a selection of rare and legendary cards that fill in the role of AI-only cards to present a little bit of additional challenge to the proceedings. I'm very careful with how many go into decks because they do need to be beatable and not be overpowered. You only need one deck to compete. However, you are allowed to change your deck between every single match of your dungeon run if you would like, as long as all of those decks meet the rules. So some people have taken advantage of that. If there's some specific hard encounters that somebody's struggling with and they know what that encounter is going to be, then they could make a deck specifically to hate counter what that deck is trying to do. That's totally legal. It's encouraged, even if that's what helps you out. So this is kind of very kitchen table, laid back PvP with as much of a PvE flavor to it as I can manage. And since it's a game show, of course, there has to be some prizes. I don't have the biggest budget for prizes, and my prizes are greater than 95% self-funded, so you know it's what I can afford to give out. But I have a blast doing it. We've been doing this every week since February 8th, so it's going on 5.5 months now of a stream every single week. So it's been fun, and basically the only... Oops, I need to turn this on, probably move this over. Oh, there's not a good spot for this, is there, right now? Not when I have follower goal up there. the only thing I need from players is to have people speak up in chat and let me know if you wish to challenge the dungeon, so that I can kind of add you to my mental queue here. Traditionally speaking, my viewer numbers have been such that everybody who wants to do a run on the dungeon has gotten to have at least one on a given night, as long as you don't, stroll into the chat too close to when I'm about to end for the evening. And some people have multiple runs depending on how many people are around and looking to participate. You can also type !rules to get a full breakdown of the rules in print. That'll pop a link in chat to the Google document where all the rules basically exist in print form to review at your convenience. So that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. If any of that didn't make sense, if you have any questions about how all it works, please do let me know, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Because it's definitely a unique style of stream. It's not you're not going to see anybody else doing anything like it. So for that reason, I know it requires some explanation for people strolling in for the first time who don't know the ins and outs of how we do things here. So Stigma Buster, you rolled up into the chat saying you were flanked by Candlekin. Are you ready to roll, or do you want to just chill for a little bit? Because if you want to go, you can step on down and we shall fight. If you want to chill for a bit, that is absolutely fine too. Let's rock. Alright. So, you know the drill. Send me a challenge when you're ready. That way I know you have the deck that you are satisfied with. Oops, yeah, that's Streamlabs. Rather watch and learn for a bit. Absolutely fair. So the decks are always the same. Once I have debuted a dungeon, the contents of a deck never change. So when you've seen a deck, you can rest comfortable that you know what's in it, and things aren't going to arbitrarily change from week to week. So I will go first, and this hand wants for a wild shard, but I'm going to keep it. Because we can get Dread Botanist on turn 2, also have access to a Stranglefist from removal. So Raptos played this deck against us a little bit last night. I was doing another Dungeon Master stream last night, although traditionally this is a Wednesday night thing. And also played this against the devs earlier on the dev stream. Okay, so Butcher's good. We have another formal removal here. I also, to the best of my ability, I designed the dungeons with escalating difficulty. Obviously, I don't want the one room that everybody is always going to play to start to be the hardest encounter in the dungeon by far. This deck can go off and give people fits sometimes, but it is usually reasonably beatable. This feels a little bit loose, but I'm going to strangle that before an Illuminate happens. Crash in for 2. My recollection of Raptos deck is that there's not much for top end threat. It wants to go wide and start building up candles. Oh no! I played right into the Ethereal Collar, turns the Initiative Wax into a Phantom. Well, that's one way to recycle. Alright, getting Threshold trolled. No wild threshold yet. Oops, that's OBS. I didn't want OBS. Arcane Alacrity. Play an action, gain a charge, which will help towards building up faster illuminations. Wow, this went wide in a hurry. That's going to be a lot of pain next turn. And no Wild Threshold. I like Raptos' chances. So since I put it up on the very top of the screen for the first time here, I decided I need to start getting more real about announcing and striving for some follower goals. So I'm at 128 now. When I get to 150, I will be doing a special stream. It'll be IRL for in real life. We're gonna pop in, we're gonna throw up Netflix, and that's not really good for me. We're gonna throw up Netflix and pull up the awful movie Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs. It's a real thing. You can find it on Netflix right now. And I'm going to give it the riff tracks treatment, watching the movie with viewers, and we're going to try to turn that awful movie into a story based around Hex. Whether it be Hex characters or Hex employees, I don't know. I'm not doing a script for it. We're going to do it live. But I ran a Twitch poll a while back naming 4 really bad Netflix movies and what people would want to see me do. And that one, I think, had like 60% of the vote. Wow, cannot find a Wild Threshold. So Raptos illuminating here makes another Candlekin. I suppose when you have Rune of Candescence on hold. And now all of these can get built up, so it's two... yeah, it's pretty lethal. Goliath wants in! Alright, you're the only other person so far. So you shall be next. So Raptos shrugs off the removal. We never found a single Wild Threshold. Raptos is going to wreck our face and move on to the next room in the dungeon. Alright, so that's it. Room 1 has fallen. Matches are best of 1. This is immortal. All sets are legal. Just no rare legendaries. Although the deck that you saw was standard. That I was playing was standard legal. Alright, so we are going to room 3. Alright, send me a challenge when you are ready. Stigma Buster trying to knock down the same pillar they were going after last night. Got to the second to last room last night. So we could see a rather deep run here. All right, this is this one. Right, immortal, no rare cards, no legendary cards. So common and uncommon cards only. Do I have a typo in my rules? Maybe, yeah. No rares, no legendaries. Alright, so this is fine. This is a very old school mill deck. built before all of the Cult of the Nameless City that was introduced with Frostheart. We want to use Spawn of Oath-the-Egg here. When this deals damage to an opposing champion, bury the top card of their deck. And if there's 10 or more cards in their deck, we bury 5 instead. And the Dementia Daisies are a 0/4 to basically chump. Ah, okay, you made the typo. I gotcha. Dementia Daisies are here to chump, and whenever we gain a charge, we bury 2 off the top. Alright, thirsty for a 3rd shard. Running shards here would just be amazing for the Dementia Daisies. Aww. Burn takes out the Great Spawn. Did get a resource, though. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and just shave a couple off the top. Took out an Initiative Wax and a Ruby Ice for Fate Weave. Fate Weave kind of gets punished by this because if we hit mills, then whatever they're choosing to put on top of the deck, we're going to get rid of it. Alright, missed a shard. We'll just throw down a second Dementia Daisies. If we find a shard, it's going to be Dementia Daisies number 3, and then 1 shard, mills 6. You're not extended. Okay, so nothing to worry about yet over there. Still treading water. Got to play another Dementia Daisies and wait. Time Ripples in here as a stall as well. Put target card into its controller's hand and it gets +1. Raptos Wax Dawning for 2 more Candlekin. Now burning me in the face for basically to gain a charge, and decides to illuminate to make all of those 2/2s. What's up, Bofity? How you doing? Alright, so really could use some shards at the moment. How many does each of the daisies mill? Daisies are the top 2 cards per charge. So gaining 1 charge, right now it would mill 6 cards off the top because there's 3 of them. I'm just going to stun 2 Candlekin because 2 swinging in is blockable. Wow, getting nothing here. Alright, so the old one is biding their time again. Would not mind running shards here or something else that can... Okay. So this arena run for Raptos has been sponsored by Dungeon Master Shard Screw. Is apparently the case. We have delay, stall. Mill that I would like to wait until we find some Azure Fang Decrees, maybe. combat phase. Okay, so that's a visual glitch. That doesn't have the ability anymore. That could get immediately replayed. Gonna wait. Oh, the frostbite, none of the forward momentum. Alright, Kismet. Yep, go ahead and illuminate. I'll just stun your candles. Nope, get back in the hand. How many draws in a row has this been without a shard? Those daisies have done nothing. This is a mill deck that has 6 deck cards in the opponent's crypt, and I think most of them he put there himself. Very poor showing from this deck right now. Oh no, I made a mistake. I made a mistake and I did not stun the Alright, we're gonna eat it as our punishment. I didn't stun the candles when I had the chance. And Totem Trap takes out the spawn. Mistakes have been made. Hey, look, that's a shard. Here, get some more cards in your deck. And there's no spiderling eggs in there to fish out because we haven't found any Azurfang Decrees, so I can't play fishing for chump blockers. Alright, let's science this. I don't think this works. I think you still get the Illuminate. Yep, still gets the Illuminate. Alright, so stun 2 candles. I'm only going to block 1 candle, which I know is a severe risk. Rip. 5th Book of Daharsis. At the start of each opposing champion's turn, if that champion has 20 more cards in their crypt, this deals 1 damage to them. And as a basic one-shot, we can pay 3 to search their deck for up to 3 cards and put them in their crypt. So we can take out 3 high-level threats. But that's too little, too late. So swing here is going to be lethal for Raptos. Raptos will move on to the 3rd out of 5 decks. So there's still a glitch with the art right now, because the candle art does change when you zoom in, but it's not changing on the board to reflect that they got bigger. I don't know why I'm bothering to block, but that's still lethal. Alright, so that's 2 decks down. This next one is also probably going to be a win. Full disclosure, the next deck has never beaten anybody. Deck 8 is 0 for everything. And I'm going to try to rebuild the combo that this next deck is built off of to make it more viable for a future dungeon, because I want to pull it off. So we're going to be doing rooms 8, 17, and 21 the rest of the way here. I'm just leaving the map up while we wait for the ready challenge to come in from Raptos. Got 2 pillars down. Two down, 2 to go. Pandemica beat the crap out of the first pillar a couple weeks ago. At Pillar 4, God, Pillar 4 was like a month ago. There was a huge amount of struggle from between the first pillar falling and the second one falling. When Pandemica took out pillar number 1, we had somewhere between 30 and 35 players in a row fail before Pandemica took out a pillar. So the struggle was real, and the prize pool was getting rather large. Every time I even broached the subject of nerfing the decks to make it a little easier for people, people kept telling me to take a hike, don't nerf the dungeon. So we have left all of the decks exactly as they were originally built. This is not the greatest hand, but against Waves of Candlekin, it's a start. People want the challenge, and you know, when you beat the dungeon, I want you to feel like a badass. Especially, and I think you feel that way if you have beaten a dungeon where 30 plus people, not 30 plus individual people, but 30 plus attempts were made before somebody could rip off 5 wins in a row. Alright, so I'm not going to explain. If you've seen this deck before, you know the janky combo I'm going for. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to explain it until we actually get to the point where we can start maybe building it. But for now, in the early game, the whole point is to basically throw up a wall of butts in front of Candlekin to just basically try to stall Candlekin aggro and buy some time. And Demented Demolisher here is a 2/2 for 4. Pay 3 and sacrifice this to void all resources from your deck. That's relevant to attempting to assemble the combo. Okay, really didn't need a second one, but alright. Going to snag a wild here. Play another Cavern Guard. And yeah, you know what? I'll just play the Star Touch Watcher too. So we have a wall of 0/4s here. Dwarven Guard set 2. Shattered Destiny. Man, that's an old school 04. And I'm not sure how much these cards ever even saw play in their set. Because you don't really want to take up a card spot for a do-nothing card. Wow, can I get some of my actions? Can I? And by the way, once again, I will note that we're stuck on 3. Dungeon Master's just biding the time. Alright, so you can't swing into a wall of force. Here's the combo. Sliver of the Immortal Spear. Exhaust this to create a Sliver of the Immortal Spear and put it in the deck. Exhaust 5 of these to deal 5,000 damage to target champion. So once we have enough resources, we play the Demented Demolisher and sacrifice this to void all the resources, so that all we have left are things that help us stall for time and not die, and Slivers of the Immortal Spear. So that is our endgame. So far, we've never managed to live long enough to actually pull that off. I think Fate Weave would help make this work, so I'm going to try to do a new build of this combo that uses some Fate Weave to try to make things happen. It would be really nice to get some more than 4 shards before popping this dude. But it's going to take 2 turns to get there anyway. Alright, so it's entirely possible to illuminate here, make a bunch of 4/4s. This is probably a good time to Lullaby to revert all of that when they swing in. So we're in Lullaby, and that's going to revert all the candles back down to 1/1s, and we will not take any damage. Just blowing down those candles. Told you I'd blow out some candles. Alright, seriously, a 3rd Demented Demolisher? Get out of here. I only needed 1. I don't want to start cranking out more of those yet, because I want to find some of the other pieces to try to help get this going. That card is, yep, Lullaby is the bane of his deck's existence. Build up all your candles, I will snuff them right out. So do we want to just roll with 4? Is 4 resources enough? We don't have a diamond threshold yet, though. I'll block like this. Does use a totem trap. Hey, that's okay. We have 2 more of those. Alright, so the stalling is working as intended. The building up a combo isn't really working how one would hope. Five 1 Wounded War Hero. Come on, Arcane Focus. Yeah, we already have one of those. I'm going to take the Oracle Song. Try to find some more cards. Alright, Alright, and that's shards 5 and 6. That's probably enough now that I can break the rest. And we have a diamond threshold now for Shard Ward. Throw the Lullaby. And the Oracle Song back in the deck. And next turn we'll be able to smash all the remaining resources out of the deck and still have enough resources up for a Lullaby. So we'll just hold here. Only swinging with the flyer and the 5/5. Pulled one more resource on the way out. Alright, all the resources are gone. Our 42 card deck is now 21 cards. I'm actually going to wait on charge powering, I think. I'm going to go ahead and start creating some Sliver of the Immortal Spears. Maybe this janky combo can work. Alright, Raptos trying to go wide with Phantoms. Alright, I'll Lullaby all that. Winter Moon to put Lullaby and Arcane Focus back in the deck. And just hang out. Downside to destroying all the resources is that that limits the number of times that we can Winter Moon things. Nope. Keep trying. Just the ellipsis. Okay, Arcane Focus for Shard Ward here. Empower the Coyote as a 0/2 or a 0/8 blocker. Throw another Sliver of the Immortal Spear in there. So now this turn we're likely going to Shard Ward against Diamond to stop all candles that way. And then next turn Winter Moon those back into the deck, but then we're running out of chances to really stop the deck. So actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the air from Diamond. Yeah, I'll Shard Ward Diamond. And I gotta block that guy. Gotta block them to protect my life total. Alright, so Lullaby and Shard Ward are gonna go back in the deck. That's basically the last time we have the ability to fish something. Cards. Really? Really another Demented Demolisher? Well, I guess when there's only a few cards left. Running out of steam, though. This is why I think to make a serious version of this deck that is much more likely to go off, I think it needs like an Escalade draw card like Bounty of the Magus and some Fate Weave. Alright, so prevent Diamond. Stand in front of the Ruby. Pretty dead though. Like, I don't even want to add more spears because it's a balancing act of trying to find ways to stop that horde from coming in, and Slivers of the Immortal Spear only help build the combo. Mass Polymorph Dingler would also be a good card for this deck. But there again, it's all about trying to figure out how rude I dare get. And all I can do is chump block. So that was enough damage to get through there. Turtled installed for a while. Blew out some candles. Could not assemble our 5,000 point of damage Godspear. So 3 decks down. Raptos has defeated encounters 1, 3, and 8. 2 encounters remain, 17 and 21. God, that was annoying. Yeah, I really wanted to get the combo going so that it would actually start working. All I could do is max level annoyance. But now we have the Valors versus Candles rematch from last night. 3 down, 2 to go. Yeah, all those spirits, and then the end game blazing dudes. Alright, so I recall this matchup last night being very close. Let's see if this is as close again this time.
Execute Order 66. It's funny how the dark side makes everything seem.
And we've got Artifaction on deck. Finishing up a dungeon run and then gonna brew something fancy. Ooh, I like. So we've got Artifaction on deck. If there's anybody else watching who would like to challenge the dungeon tonight, please let me know. If you have any questions on deck format, the rules, anything, let me know. Happy to answer those. Exclamation prizes shows you the current prize pool. Exclamation rules will get you a link to the Google Doc where the rules are to read at your convenience. I'll try it. Alright, so we've got 2 people in the queue. CWWISH. Chewish is how I'm going to pronounce that. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what we'll do. So I'm going to keep this. It doesn't, the aggro's not that great, but it's got a good resource base. So we do need 2 everything, and we've got some removals. Alright, you wanna switch the order. Okay, you want Chewish to go first and then you? We can do it that way. I will need it as soon as Raptos' run is over, either in victory or defeat. Alright. So the Radiant Servant's not that much of a problem right now. So I'm going to throw down the War Party Guide. It has Swift Strike, and if the top card of your deck is an Ardent Troop, draw it. So there's potential card advantage there.
And the Empire might get back to you or destroy you if the shield is.
Aw, gets flame licked. Just kidding.
Which is how we might destroy you.
Alright, so lots of removal in hand. 4 pieces of removal. No attacks. Oh, that's gonna die. That is going to die immediately. Because we don't want any Blaze Elementals or bonus Phantoms. Get out of here. Alright, I'm actually going to hold the War Party Guide so that candle swinging is not free. Have to take 2 in the air again. Really got the full suite of removal going, don't we? Let's chastise that. I don't think anything needs to be brought to justice right now. Pyre Strike deals up to 4 damage, so those candles can grow for a while yet before they really need to be snuffed out. The 1, I suppose. Alright, no, I'm not going to because I have all the Bring to Justices. Look at all this glorious removal to take things off the board with no means to really effectively counterattack. What is up with this run? First it's shard, screw, shard, screw, shard, screw. Now it's every piece of removal in the deck. And only one droop. So let's get cute. We're in a swing. And the top card of our deck's not an Ardent Troop. We didn't pull anything. Doubt my run will actually be that long. My deck is fun to play. I'm not sure how good it is. Well, fun trumps good. This is not a highly competitive stream. I mean, prizes are great if you can get to the end and win it. But it is more important that you are having fun. So that was our last troop. And now I need to really get aggressive removing threats. It's a shard. So I'm gonna start making Valors that I have no troops to cast them on, which is pretty incredible. I'm gonna bring that candle to justice. So now Raptos has nothing. We have... well, they got a 1/3 cleric. We have basically nothing. Burned. I could take that out. I will choose not to. Alright, and so now I'm going to only play one Valor, leave up enough resources to play a Pyre Strike. And can maybe start turning this around. That doesn't still have that does not still have the ability. Oh, there we go. Ding ding ding, got the end game. Can now just start happily sniping targets. You villainous candle, I smite thee. Chopping down candles. Yeah, it's over now. Unless Heart of Embers somehow gets taken out immediately. Because now every turn we're generating the ability to deal 3 damage to target champion or troop. There are 2 of these in the deck. So on any given turn, there was a 1 in 30 or a 1 in... you do the math, of drawing one. No answer for the Heart of Embers. GG's Raptos, good run. Alright, that's failed run number 5, so we will add a second Frostheart booster pack to the current prize pool. Alright, and... for the longest time, Stigma Buster, I had all of the removal in my deck and absolutely no troops. Alright, FortifyGawine. Alright, so also do Whisper. Okay. Defy. GAWINE. Best. I know, all of the removal, like 3 Bring to Justice, 3 Pyre Strikes. For the longest time, I only had the 2 Coyotes. There were the 2 1-Swift Strikers. So all I could do is go pew 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 and snipe candles while I tried to find something else. Yeah. You would need a void effect like the Bring to Justice that I had in the decks to get rid of it. That would have been your out if you had. I don't think you have those in your deck, but that would have been an out. Alright, so since the first deck's always the same, I will send a challenge here. Immortal. SS for 1, which stands for Silver Standard, which is the dungeon that the deck originally debuted in. It cracks me up that every week on the dev stream we have people asking, so when are you gonna when are we getting a new level cap? When's the level cap gonna go up? When are prizes gonna rotate? And I'm over here going, I'm almost level 50! Ooh, we have Winter Moon up in here. You'll get there. And remember, you don't have to carry the torch with one deck. You could have different iterations of that deck for the different encounters. So if there's somewhere you need more void style removal, you can make a slightly different version of that deck for it. Or I probably shouldn't keep this, but I'm going to. Or build entirely different decks, and as long as they're still common and uncommon only for whatever challenges are getting you down. You're not required to use the exact same 60 for the entire run.
Hey
So
guys,
just a reminder as food for thought,
and if you did, feel free
in
to
case
click
there's
on
different
these other
avenues
videos. You'll
that
probably
helps.
enjoy them too. And if you really enjoyed the video and want to help me produce more
Because your
content
deck
like
is
this,
comfortably
head over
good
to my
enough to get through the
Bandcamp page
first
and pick up an album
3
or support me directly on
decks
Patreon.
on that
Every
route.
little bit helps, and it keeps my lights on. Rock on, peace out, see you next time.
Oh, this makes me happy. Briar Patch. Create 4 Briar Legions and put them into your deck. When you draw a Briar Legion, create a Briar Legion. Alright, so we'll just play a Shard and Pass here. Not much else to do. I remember trying to force as many Briar Legions into my deck as I could get back in the old days of triple set 1 drafts. Alright, so we'll use all our resources here and throw down a Pro Boar pair. 5/5, it gets weaker every turn but makes a Dreadling. Crackling Tide. Put target troop into its controller's hand. Not before I can get a counter. I'm going to turn off the challenge notice too, because we've got FortifyGawine here, and we've got Artifaction on deck. And then beyond that, if there's other people who wish to challenge the dungeon, I'll make a call out, or people will just speak up as the spirit moves them. Alright, so if at first you don't succeed, try again. I like encountering random and different brews. I guarantee, I'm almost 100% sure this is the first Briar Legion brew that has been brought to bear against the dungeon. Any of the dungeons. So, Shoku's Garden now means every time a Dreadling dies, we're going to get health for it. We're going to exhaust those 3 Dreadlings to complete their Dread Factory, and then swing in with the Probe Repair. Now see, this is a pretty cruel hand against Briar Legions, because we've got Strangle, Butcher, Butcher. Chlorophyllius, so the resource base is there. Oops, forgot to use my champ power. Can do that next turn. Alright, Oakhenge Ceremony has to find something. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put a revealed troop into your hand. Put the remaining cards into your deck. Alright, there's the first Briar Legion. Immediately Battles of Destinies to take out the Burly Botanist, so that's 1 less Dreadling generated a turn. Gets Fate Weave. I think it's a little too late though. Explosion taking out a Briar Legion. When Windmill Slam the champ power. I think that's lethal 3. Yeah. It was unfortunate that none of those Briar Legions or any other troop came out to play. I know that feeling. I had that exact same feeling a couple rounds ago. For the longest time versus Stigma Buster. Well played, Fortified. Sorry you struck out and couldn't find any troops. That was rough. And Artifaction, are you ready to go? And is there anybody else who is watching who would like to challenge the dungeon tonight that I know to add you to the queue? Alright, excellent. Artifaction, you know the drill. Shoot me a challenge when you're ready. Jewish, you might have another shot at it tonight if you would like it. Still planning to be alive for about 2 more hours tonight. Same route as last time if I make it that far. Okay. I know what that means, and I will explain what Artifaction's talking about here as we go. I will keep this. Oh god, it's a life gain deck. Raven Talon. You get, when a troop enters play under your control, gain 1 health this turn. For 3 charges and a wild and a diamond. Also with those sexy Arcane Alacrity AA sleeves. Oh my god, Goliath, you're next. You're totally next. That's my bad. You probably should have been earlier. You're definitely next. And I need to write these down. Raptos. Artifaction. Yeah, I want to verify the spelling there. Fortify. Gawine. Okay. Got everyone's name written down so that I'm not going to screw this up and forget again. Alright, so Probe War Pair is the play now. Because we need to start getting some Dreadlings into the crypt to throw away. Cheery Songbird. Once per turn, when you gain health, this gets +2/+2. Alright, I will go ahead and swing with both of these. And we now have a Dreadling in the crypt to be able to hit Explosion next turn. If I do end up playing later tonight, we need a couple minutes notice. So when I'm not playing, leave it off. Fair enough. And you would definitely have... So why? Oh, deploy, gain 4 health. I get you. I see what you're doing. We're just going to go ahead and strangle that because the Righteous Paladin's going to be all kinds of problems in a health gain deck. Alright, get rid of a Cheery Songbird. Ooh, does the end around. I think that only keeps it alive as a blocker for this turn, though. Yep, so goes ahead and sacrifices it. 28 health still. Gains health, makes the Cheery Songbird 4/5. Which I don't think worked as intended. I'm going to hold the Explosion, so I want to get the Bulkies out. Bulky, when you sacrifice a troop, this deals 1 damage to each opposing champion. Any Dreadling that lives till the end of the turn is considered sacrificed. So basically, if a Dreadling lives until the end and then dies, we're going to hit for some bonus damage. Oh god, that's permanent, isn't it? No, it's just this turn, okay. So the Cheery Songbird can swing in for a bunch. this is where its Dread Factory comes in and is nice. So we can Explosion to say goodbye to Cheery Songbird. Scrounge 1 to summon 3 Dreadlings. And now might as well swing with all of them, because only... Yeah, I'll swing with everything. Only one of them could get blocked. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 more points of damage from the sacrificing at the end there. Made a Plant Beast Ranger deck yesterday. Just that made me remember how much I love the Briar deck. It's just way better in PvE when there's other equips. I have not actually tried to make a Briar Legion deck for PvE, I don't think, in a long time. And look at this! Winds of Change. Destroy all constants. Gain 2 health for each constant destroyed this way. It's as if Artifaction knows this deck uses constants. No way! But do you have combat tricks? Alright, so next turn is also pretty filthy. Dread Apprentice with the 6 resources, and we'll have enough then to activate the champion power too. Yep, deal me your 5. Alright, so next level filthiness. Dread Apprentice. Into Dread Apprentice. Into Charge Power. Into Alpha Strike. Boonberries. Boonberries. Three, 4, 5. So that wasn't... Oh, it's still lethal! Miss blocks. I didn't do the math, but that was still lethal. Rip. No mercy for my regulars. Because I know you suckers will come back for more. But no, that was fun. I like life gains. There was some tech in there that seemed specifically designed to try to ruin the Dreadling engine. Time to tweak for the next run. There you go. Alright, so we're going to add in a rare to the prize pool, which is going to be Deep Gaze Champion from my surplus reserves. Maybe in a couple more weeks I will start having, from drafts and seals and stuff, I'll start having some spare Frostheart rares to start throwing in more current cards as well. But right now, I give away what I have available to give away. Alright, so Goliathus, or Goliath 764, you would be the next contestant on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Let me know if you're still here, or if you're not, I'll assume you had to AFK for a bit. Would still keep you in the queue though. I see you still in chat. You're here. Alright, excellent. Welcome in, Morinfin. Bear with me 1 second, and I will answer your question. Alright, so just wanted to let Goliathus know to challenge me when ready. So, Morinfin, to answer your question, what you're watching is, well, I don't know how long you've been watching, so if you need the very basic rundown on what is going on here, let me know. But if you've been watching for a while and you get the basics, then I'll save you the full spiel. To answer the most specific point of your question, what are the rules for deck lists? This is immortal format, so all sets are legal. You may only use common and uncommon cards, no rares, no legendaries. So if you watched any of the tournaments that Function's been running over the last few weeks, exact same rules. You are allowed to use different decks for every single encounter of the dungeon if you so choose, as long as all of them meet the rules. What was that whisper? By the way, I use outside stream program to run program audio only because I don't have net speed to run 1080p, so I might need to use here to chat. Alright, so this is 2 shards with 2 Dread Botanists, a Probe War pair to get to 3 Ashoku's Garden. This is good. This will work. You can also type !rules in chat to get a link to where all the Dungeon Masters of Entrath rules live in print form. I'm always happy to explain it to folks, but I know sometimes it's nice just to have it there in front of you to print, in print, to review at your leisure too. That's what it's there for. And more infin, if you have a deck ready and you decide you would like to challenge the dungeon, let me know, and I will add you into the queue of folks. Doesn't provide lower quality. So, quality auto. Yeah, he's right. For some reason, I have my own stream up. I can't lower the quality below 1080p either. Don't have a deck, have seen Functions tourney though. That's alright. I will never pressure anybody in the chat to have a deck. You know, I'm not going to tell you if you're watching the stream, you better be playing too, or anything like that. This is an extremely chill show. We like to just hang out, have some fun, do some crazy shenanigans. You know, so just hang out, have fun, hopefully enjoy the show. And you are absolutely, of course, welcome to, at any point, step in and say, I have a deck ready, I want to throw down, and I will do my best to accommodate you. And as Nicholas IV, aka Artifaction, put it, the Dungeon Master is a dirty cheat. Dirty, filthy cheat. Alright, so this is Blood Diamond Papa Goot that we are fighting. Has quickly and quietly got 2 Daybreaks out on the board. And a Decree of Banishing is going to wipe out the Probe War pair. Alright, now I'm going to take that 3, because I don't really want to lose my Dreadling Factories yet. Ooh! Ooh, old card that nobody played that has found a new life. At the start of your turn, lose 2 health, add an offering counter to this, then if there are 4 or more counters, turn this into a Malice Demon. So basically, those 2 Daybreaks counter the pain on that. Don't mean to derail the conversation, but if you get a chance, try Briars in campaign, it's really fun. I would love to revisit the old styles. If you know of a deck list posted somewhere, like on TCG browser or something, that I can take a look at later on after the stream, it would be. I wouldn't mind having something to look at to help kickstart the old noggin. Shackles of Malice is amazing with the Malice Demon equipment. What is the Malice Demon equipment? See, this is bad for somebody who's running a PvE flavored show, but I actually know very little about the PvE only cards and the PvP equipment, because I don't tend to tool around in that too much. I'm very much a PvP first player, but I do enjoy playing the campaign and stuff from time to time. It's just not nearly, something I have as much knowledge on. When he connects, destroy 2 random opposing things. Oh god, that is good. So just, casual 8/8 flight, crush. So with crush, he's gonna connect. Blow up 2 things. That does sound freakishly good. And I think I'm gonna go double Shoku Garden here. To try to get the health engine going. Giant flapping demon with destroy random things for 1. And Chewitch, I'll try to put together a full list tonight and try to get it to by the end of stream. I will keep an eye out for it. Alright, so shard number 5 is good enough for a Burly Botanist. And I'm not sure how... I'm not entirely clear how we in Dreadlings are going to effectively counter the constant game over there. Well, if we keep asking relevant questions, Goliathus may just sneak something past the DM. Are you going to go Tim Lagore on me now and try to distract the Dungeon Master game on purpose? Backdoor help Goliathus clear the dungeon. Alright, so that's a lot of threat on the board there. That's shard number 6. You would never, right? If you've not streamed ever or in a while, it really is quite a bit more work than you would realize to play Hex, properly analyze what is going on in the game, discuss the plays you're making and what your opponent's doing, pay attention to chat, pay attention to the streaming program that you're using to make sure everything is running properly, and all the various things that go along with that. I've got I've got more practice in this now, doing this for 5 months, but yeah, it's complicated. And you recently became a Twitch affiliate streaming Hex. Nice. Welcome to the club. There's so much pain in the air, and I have so little ability to deal with it. I think I was watching you a little bit one day where you were playing around with the Zakoi deck, where it was all basically Fate Weave and Zakoi, and just ruining Adventure Zone 1 with that. That was amusing to watch. Probably not what the developers wanted or had intended, but definitely funny to watch. So I'm pretty sure Goliathus could just sit back here and basically comfortably dome us in head for 8 every single turn until I find a butcher. Yeah, they mentioned that in the dev stream today. They're like, yeah, that's not really what we were... It's gonna happen. Turning an 8/8 into a 5/5 doesn't seem good. Told him, hey, if you don't like the stuff, that stuff happening, bring me on and I'll make it my mission to break things for them. There you go. They do need more people like that to help break things and balance test. So I didn't want to swing with those to ruin the 2 Dreadling of Factories. Bulky is our backdoor win condition if we can get Dreadling generation going on fast enough. What if I did this silly thing and everything is terrible? Wait, that was a kill? I just killed him and I don't even know how I got there. Bulky gets work done. Bulky is the mean son of a bitch backdoor win condition of that deck. I didn't even realize it was that close. Y'all got me distracted. I'm just like, I better swing now before the Goot life gain just completely train wrecks me. You reversed Timlagord? You distracted me and I played better? Oh, that's funny. Can we? Yeah, I don't know how Timlagord would feel about becoming an adjective. Or I guess that'd be yeah, that'd be an adjective. To Timlagor somebody, or no, it'd be a verb if you are Timlagoring me. Then yes, you've turned his name into a verb. We had practice distracting Pandemica. In his silky radio DJ voice. He's for it. I'm unless I'm reverse Timlagoring now. There you go. Alright, so thus far we have given Goliathus, Raptos, Artifaction, FortifyGawine. 4 people have stepped into the dungeon so far tonight. Is there anybody in chat who has not yet had any opportunity to play the dungeon and wishes to? Because before I start giving people second runs, I just want to do a quick spot check that we're not missing somebody who does want to play again and has not. Otherwise, from those 4 people, I'm going to start giving everybody a second go at the dungeon. And I think the order that we went tonight... You forgot about the bulky. Yeah, the casual gonna dome you for 1 for every Dreadling that lives to the end. I think Raptos was first. Goliathus was our last person here as the 4th. So I think was FortifyGawine was second. Artifaction was the 3rd person, if I'm recalling the correct order. Alright. So I'm going to take a very quick AFK here to refresh my water because talking is thirsty work and I'm out, and use the bathroom here. And then we're going to start up from the top of the list again. Raptos, followed by FortifyGawine, followed by Artifaction, followed by Goliathus. So those same 4 people in that order, if you are all still around and wish to make another play. If at any point somebody else pops in the channel and has not had any opportunity to run the dungeon yet tonight, then I'm going to insert them into the front of the queue behind who's ever running. So just full disclosure on that now. you know, because I don't want somebody to show up for like 2 hours and then realize that, you know, they've been in the stream for an hour and a half and they never had a shot at playing and they wanted to. So we'll do it that way. Like I said, I will be right back in just a minute, and then we can keep on rolling. Alright, I'm back. Let's do this. Raptos, come at me with your candles or any other deck you may choose to use. I am ready for you. Send me a challenge when you are ready. And we shall do this. And Artifaction, since you are a new member of the affiliate Hex Club, and we're all eligible to get subscribers, have you made any decisions on what you're going to do for a subscriber emote? Do you want to do one? Are you arranging one? If so, tell me about your maniacal plans. Have a little surprise for me if you make it back to the Valor Room. Ooh, I like surprises. But no thought put into it yet. I will tell you free advice, because I learned this the hard way, that if you walk down the path of, hey, I want to make it be a chibi Slaughter Gears Reaver, okay, so then this is relevant to you, very much so. You would probably want to email Dinotropia before you come up with the art, and definitely don't commission anybody to make a chibi Slaughter Gears Reaver until you've had a conversation with Dinotropia about that. Because what I learned was I wanted to do Princess Corey, and as a matter of fact, since it's relevant to our conversation here, on the right is my Princess Corey emote that is pending approval. And has been pending approval for 2 weeks now. We're waiting for Twitch to get off its ass and give it the green light so that that's actually available. But the saga of the Princess Corey emote is kind of what I want to let you and everybody else know about who's thinking about making a Hex emote. They're basically policy, and the way they want things surprises me. They want it to they want any Hex themed emote to literally look exactly like in-game assets. Like the Dingler Jeff Hooglin uses, the Candlekin that Bosmapar uses, for example, the Stormcloud that Hacky uses. Those look pretty much exactly like they came out of the game, and that is the standard that they want for any Hex-themed emote. which surprises me because it kind of feels like if you're going that route, that you're basically taking their art and their assets and then turning around and monetizing that for your own use as a channel emote. So I went the other way at first with the cute Princess Corey you see here, because I thought that if I literally took something like the Dread Botanist head here that looks right out of the game, that they would tell me you can't do that. But that's actually the way they want it. Yeah, I would definitely talk to Dino, because I was told it has to look like game art. The reason I am able to do a cutesy Princess Corey Jones like this is that Corey Jones personally specifically overrode that policy to do a one-off exemption for the character Princess Corey. So Princess Corey is the only exemption to that policy that you can be cutesy or different with it, which is why this emote was allowed to pass, and I can use it. But I found that out after I had already paid somebody about $30 to do, or about $25 to do the art for me. So I was really sad at the idea that I wasn't going to really be able to use it for more than a like a forum avatar or something where they couldn't really say no. But yes, that's just for anybody out there who's streaming and looking to potentially have a Hex themed emote. Just make sure you get clearance, explain exactly what you want to do before you commission anybody. I came out okay, but I want to save anybody else some headaches. But now that I know Princess Corey is fine, if I only did the basic generic you know, $5 or free Amazon Prime tier emote. If I were to do others, what am I doing? Why did I not play these pre-combat? I might just make all of my emotes Princess Corey themed in different ways. Don't have a second Blood Threshold to play Explosion, otherwise I would want to take out the Pyrosoul Summoner before it can do any more damage there. Still don't have it. Right, I'm just going to use my resources to their maximum extent here, get the bulky out. Alright, 6 resources, 2 cards in hand, 2 charges. And now cranking out Phantoms for the slow roll win. Because this deck has no means to stop, really, an air assault. Alright, so there's the resource number. So this is going to cause some pain. This might be wrong. I'm going to throw Bulky down to try to start getting some value on Dreadlings. And now next turn could throw down 2 Dread Apprentices, scrounge twice, champ power, swinging for a lot of damage, and any Dreadlings that go unblocked are going to deal 1 damage on the way out. What's up, JJ? I'm doing good. Having fun here. This is our 25th episode of Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Been rolling strong for about 5.5 months now. 4 people have challenged the dungeon tonight. And now Raptos with their Cassia Golden Light Candlekin Brew is back to have a second go at it. So I've been having quite a lot of fun. I love doing these. And I love that the show is basically grown big enough that I will consistently have at least 3 to 4 people on any given night challenging the dungeon, so that it's usually not the same person jamming, you know, over and over and over again, which is great. So as far as things go in Hexland, I got squat to complain about. Alright, I don't want to swing with this or this because those are kind of my combo pieces. I might be a little bit loose considering the amount of pain that's coming in the air. So that's... Oh, that was a mistake. Raptos forgot what bulky does. All those dreadlings are going to deal 1 point of damage at the end of the turn. Bulky. The bulky may be big, but it's the silent killer. Alright, GG's Raptos. I'm going to update the prize pool here. We are at 8 failed attempts between pillars getting knocked out in this dungeon. And so we're going to add another 2,000 gold to the prize list, which as always is available. That double apprentice though, yeah, that's nasty. Double apprentice into charge power even. So all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, you've got 622 swinging at you. Alright, so with that on deck, I forgot, sorry, FortifyGawine. I didn't expect that match to end as fast as it did, but FortifyGawine, you are the next contestant. Followed by Artifaction. And if anybody has not challenged the dungeon tonight and wishes to do so, then we'll slide you into the queue. We could have a slight gap here because FortifyGawine had told me earlier they needed a minute to fire up their laptop because the laptop would overheat and they didn't want to leave Hex running. Can you skip me? I'm doing dishes. Okay, I will skip you and move you down in line, but we'll keep you in the queue. So we'll move on to Artifaction. You're up. Okay, never mind. I lied. Morinfin built a deck. I can play now. Okay, so we'll do we'll go Morinfin and then Artifaction number 2. You got it just before we started. Morinfin, what is your in-game name? I like how it lets me open that without having to actually click out of Twitch chat. It's looking good. Alright, in-game name is Correctamundo. I like it. /whisper. CORRECTAMUNDO. Challenge me when ready. Alright, I sent you the whisper. So as always, you can click on the person's head when they've sent you a whisper, click challenge, and then you go from there. Alright, there we go. Correctamundo. Accept. So this is not a stat I've tracked, I don't actually know, but 5 unique players in a stream is getting close to the most individual people who've ever taken a crack at a dungeon in a single evening stream. Which is sweet. Alright, this is not the strongest setup hand, but going to go with it. This is the wrong deck. Okay. We will just restart. JJ, the rules are best of one are the matches. You win and you move deeper into the dungeon. You lose at any point along the way, you're done. This is kind of what the current map looks like. It is immortal format, commons and uncommons only. Jewish is now following. Thank you much, good sir. Yeah, immortal format, commons and uncommons only. You are allowed to use a different deck between every match of the dungeon if you so choose, as long as every deck you use meets the common and uncommon only rule. Current prize list is pretty modest, but it is available by typing !commons. Okay, how do you get in line for battle? You simply tell me in chat that you want to play. That is how you get in line. So I will... You're up next if you're ready. Artifaction is correct. Go first. We'll keep this. Not yet. Okay, fair enough. Just let me know if you are officially ready. And GrenchVicte, can I try somewhere in... Yes, you can try. I am not sure what you mean by somewhere in the listings. Unless you mean, you know, do you want to get in the queue? In which case, yes. Grench has not gone tonight. Oh, it's awesome to see new people stepping in and expressing interest. Okay, so then yeah, Grench, since you would be the first person in chat who has not had a run tonight, who has expressed interest, you would be up next. And then if JJ indicates that he's ready, Jadim Jedi would follow that. And then we'll play it by ear from there based on time. Correctamundo rolling up with a merry caravan. Alright, so I'm going to choose blood here. Take advantage of Dungeon Master's rare shard fixing. Awesome to see more people participating in the best Hex game show of current time. Yeah, first time watching this. No idea what to expect deck-wise. Have a couple of popper decks that you've been toying with. Well, then you will be ready to roll. I've also been doing, I upload the episodes to YouTube a couple days after the streams, and I've started doing vodcast marathons of these episodes so that, the show is available to people in other time shows and just able to get more exposure that way. And that's actually worked. I'm going to strangle the party fungi immediately before those shenanigans can get going. I've actually gained more followers in the last 2 weeks from people watching the vodcast rebroadcast marathons than from the times I'm live, which is a little bit funny, but I will absolutely take it because the more the merrier in Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Alright, so we're shipping in with all the Dreadlings. Tharaz has been overperforming tonight, I will say that. This deck's win rate is usually not as good as it has been tonight. The more the merrier caravan. I see what you did there. Does not swing in with the butterfly. So that does stop me from wanting to swing with Dread Apprentice, because that's not going to get anywhere. The Merrier Caravan is a Merry Caravan cover band. They're the opening act for Puck and Balthazar. So I think I just shipped the Dreadlings here. And now I feel a little bit out of gas until getting to 6 for bulky. Don't mean to sound greedy, but it's all or nothing, right? You have to beat all the challenges or no prize. Yes and no. What Nicholas IV, aka Artifaction, is referring to is that there are some bonus nodes in the dungeon that if you beat those, you get guaranteed prizes. Those are one-off encounters. I'll pull up the map here for a second. So, room 11, and on the far left here, and on the far right of the map, those 3 nodes were challenge rooms. So those people defeated those and got guaranteed prizes, even though in Nadir's case he went on to complete the dungeon, but the other people did not. Room 13 is still available as a bonus room, so there is one left in the dungeon where you could win a prize without having to beat the rest of the dungeon. Alright, JJ is ready, and you will be next. So swing in. I don't think swinging. Spellsong Sweeties doesn't actually, we're going to test a theory, and I could be horrendously wrong. Okay, I'm fine with that trade. That's actually the trade I was hoping for. Because Spellsong Sweeties does not transform into a Merry Squirrel when Pile of Nuts goes. You would think it does, but it doesn't. I did sign myself up to take 9 damage, though. But I can... because that's now a troop, it can get butchered, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. In comes a Whimsy Witch. Alright, so now next turn, if no resource, okay, did get resource. So now going to throw down our ultimate weapon, the bulky Biosporus. So we have something to stand in front of an Angry Badger. And the prize pool for the game show, just in the interest of full disclosure for everybody, it is basically what I have the budget to be able to give away in terms of things of value like boosters and gold, or what I have spares of as far as rares and things go, because the show is almost exclusively self-funded. If anybody has donations, I would happily take donations to throw into the prize pool to make things more hype, but I generally don't mention that or really ask about that because my whole point is let's all have fun together. I'm not really trying to, you know, stump for donations or anything like that. Go nuts! Slips through the 6/6 squirrel, which is exactly what was needed. Tharaz is down. I can hang out and chat tonight, but if I come up again, skip me this time. Lots of new players who might benefit from experience. Alright. we can do that, and appreciate your flexibility, because I know you're probably one of my longest running regulars of the show. Okay, so you won what now? So now here's the dungeon map, and pillar number 2 on the lower left corner and pillar number 3 on the lower right corner are the 2 final bosses that still remain. So you started in room 1, so now you can go to a connected room, so you would have a room number 2, 3, or 5 to choose from. And then if you, based on what you choose, if you choose 5, you would have an option on which room you go to from there. Okay, we are going to 5. And so if you win there, you'll have the choice between 9, 8, and 13. And the rest of your dungeon run from there, once you get to 8 or 9, the rest of your dungeon run is a linear run down a 3-deck gauntlet towards the final boss. But let's start with room 5. So I've got my grid, I know which room that is, so send me a challenge when you're ready, and we can get started. Correctamundo. Silver. Okay, this is silver standard. Room 2. Alright, so I'm blanking and I don't want to get myself in trouble here. Yeah, I'll keep this, 2 determined Bushis. Because we have, I need to make sure I'm keeping track of everybody here properly, because Correctamundo is Morinfin. Then there was GrenchVicte. I think actually was in before JJ. And then JJ. So we've got 2 other first-timers in the queue here. GrenchVicte, if you could just confirm for me that you were, in fact, ready, and that I didn't, like, blank, then you're going to be next, and then JJ. And that's probably all I'm going to have time for tonight. But, yeah, because I think Grench actually did say they were ready earlier in the chat. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally skip them and just have a senior moment. Okay. But, so that's probably going to be the end of the stream. Just knowing how long runs typically take. But I will continue streaming long enough to guarantee that you both have a go at it. Unless by some bizarre confluence of events, Correctamundo and GrenchVicte both take out a pillar. If both pillars fall, then we're gonna have to be done because I don't have the next dungeon ready yet. But I've never had 2 people step up and take down a final boss back to back. Oh, those pesky poppy pixies. Surprise squirrels. Alright, so Tempestuous Blade Dancer was not the ideal draw here. This is actually kind of bad because Poppy Pixie can trade for the smaller one here. Does not. Alright, I will throw down a 1-cost Iotachi Brute. I think I'll leave the Poppy Pixie alone. I'd rather use removal on the Badger or some other threat. Okay, this 4 open shards, this screams go nuts. This absolutely screams go nuts, but I think I have to do a block to protect my health total. Oh, and those trade anyway. That maybe wasn't the optimal block line. Alright, so Surging Wildfire into Grandfather Elk's charge power. Equals a ton of damage. Go Nuts is sweet. I think Go Nuts stock is going to go up as more people have practice with it. Grandfather Elk guards the challenge room with a jealous fist. Good games. Correctamundo. Let's add. Yeah, and I think the bonus room is on a similar theme too, which is why I think people maybe have been avoiding that. So that was attempt number 9. We're going to add in a Succubus. Kept a pretty bad hand, but don't like mulliganing. Play versus draw is pretty important too, that is true. For my first dungeon, I had rules for each room about who gets to go first, but I've kind of found that to be a little bit of a headache to manage for every single encounter. So for most of the more recent dungeons, it's just been let Kismet decide on the coin flip who goes first. Alright, so GrenchVicte, you're up. I need to know your in-game name, so I know who's sending the challenge. Okay, so actually the same as your Twitch handle. Nice and easy. Whisper. I don't think the capitalization matters. For whispers. Alright, so I sent you a whisper. Shoot me a challenge when you're ready. We shall start your run. Mute, minimize, be back soon. Fair enough. And appreciated. So I can comfortably say, with GrenchVicte being our 6th person, Jadim Jedi being our 7th tonight, that 25 episodes in, we're going to set a personal record for the number of unique players taking a run in a single episode of Dungeon Masters of Entrath, which I'm really happy about. That means more people are showing up, more people are throwing down and having fun. Hope you all are having a good time. Because for a game show to be a game show, it needs 3 things. It needs a host, it needs an audience, which is you chat, and it needs contestants, which is anybody who's throwing down. And I guess it needs prizes too, or it's not really a game show. So it needs those 4 things. I can handle the host and the prizes, but without you guys wanting to throw down and play the dungeon and showing up in chat, Dungeon Masters Entrath wouldn't be a thing. Alright, so this is a risky keep. Just because it's, I mean, there's some setup here, but then we got nothing till 5-6. You put on a good show, man. Glad you're getting more traffic. Me too. Artifaction. We're doing most of the heavy lifting, if I have to be honest. That's a legitimate laugh out loud. Alright, so GrenchVicte is running a deck I think I saw a version of on the ladder today. I've only played one ladder match all season so far in Constructed because I've been playing mostly limited. But this kind of build was what it was. I'm guessing this is a Ruby Sapphire Actions Matter kind of swamp butt build. Ooh, that's good. Double Arcane Alacrity on turn 2. So now anytime they play an action, they're to gain 2 charges, which means they're going to start ramping up their fart power pretty fast. So that could get strangled. I probably don't mind letting it linger for a little bit. Okay, there's a burn. 1 burn equals 2 charges. 2 Arcane Alacrity is basically each action does 2 damage eventually. Yeah. You just have to fish it out. So I'm gonna, wow, 4, 5, 5, 6, and Explosion's not even that. Explosion is workable, but it's not even great. If you don't have anything to sacrifice into it. So, okay, I am gonna just strangle that now before that gets even more obnoxious. I know there's nothing to Explosion, so basically play Resource Go. This will start getting good at 5. Ruby's Favor probably to deal damage to us. Put in even more gas. Drago. So any troop that comes out is not long for this world. But jammed 1 shard short of actually being able to mount an offensive. And GrenchVicte's still stuck on 2. Worth noting. And it sounds like it started raining again out. Yep. I don't think I'm going to have this problem. It's not raining that hard out. But there's a very small chance my stream could cut unexpectedly due to storm outside. I don't think it's going to happen, though. The storm doesn't look like much of anything. Yeah, GrenchVicte had a really bummer go of it here. Stuck on 2 for an eternity. And those swamp gases replace themselves too, so that would, you know, think you would help for fishing. Kind of top out at 3 with Rune Blast being the only thing higher than that. So close to the promised land. with a low curve. I think the play is just to keep crashing in. And not even worry about the Dread Factory right now. Yeah, 'cause this is a really bummer deal. that ooh, Crackling Blast is gonna okay, ruins all the Dreadlings. Nope, not gonna Explosion. That's still 10 damage, and a bulky coming down. So the Swampert combos. Not happening. That's a bummer. Got all your Rune Blast, Crackling Magus, no shards. Well, it gave it the best shot possible for being stuck at 2 for such a long time. And that was attempt number 10, so we're going to throw in our third Frostheart booster pack into the grand prize. Yeah, that was super bummer, man. I'm sorry Kismet screwed you so badly there. So many gases in the deck. Yeah. Alright, so... Slash Whisper... JJ, I will go ahead and send the challenge for the first one. And we'll go from there. JJ, is this conscripts? Is this cheap conscripts? Alright, so this hand is expensive, but it has shards and a bulky, so we have things to work towards. Jadim Jedi is rolling Bishop Elijah. Pay 4, put target troop with cost 2 or less from your crypt into your hand. So it's a way to recycle some dead troops and still get some value off of them. There's a deck in this dungeon that is a conscript deck, and it looks like that's what JJ is going. But the conscript deck lives on the path to the left, which is not the direction people have been going lately. Traffic the last few streams has been trying to knock out the pillar in the lower right corner of the dungeon. The conscript deck is on the other side. But there is a conscript deck to contend with in this dungeon. Alright, so next turn, can Explosion to take out the Blessed Scout, create more Dreadlings, gain more health. Alright, immediately out comes another. And that Blessed Scout could be brought back. another common one to throw down is Eager Lackey. Let Eager Lackey die and then bring that back for a 4-drop instead. Call of the Deepwood. 4 cost that puts a 5 cost troop in play. Gore Seeker, Rage 1, Swift Strike. That's good. Alright, so we'll throw down the bulky because that's what we got. Uh-oh, Sacred Stance. And Decree of Banishing. So I'm assuming Banishing's going to take out the bulky here. Sacred Stance is kind of a must in any conscript-themed decks. That's 5 damage coming in. Most part of the game had 2 Rune Blast and 2 Fireballs. That 3rd shard would have done so much. Got greedy and only put in 22 shards. That could be it. Are you running any of the Fate Weave ones to help moderate that, or just using straight-up regular shards? JJ, whoops. Did the conscript after combat? Probably missed a few points of damage. And another Decree of Banishing. So this is gonna hurt. Four coins, 4 ice, 12 regular, adding 2 more. Nice. Alright, so we're in a huge amount of trouble now. Alright, what's Kismet throwing down this time? Tatalka! Tatalka battles opposing troop. Not even gonna need it. And Withering the Blessed Scout made the Valiant Escort. That's how you can check if this is legal, by the way, is that if it's a conscript hit, there's going to be a line between that card to the things it made. So I can check if somebody's cheating or not by having a source back to where the conscript came from. So somebody can't play a conscript deck and try to cheat in some rares and think that they're going to get away with it. Which, by the way, nobody's actually tried to do. Nobody's ever tried to cheat in such a fashion, just that, so you know, there's a very easy way to check that, just in case you didn't realize that. Okay, so JJ has knocked out the first room in the dungeon, and from here has the option of room 2, 3, or 5. Room 13 is the only remaining bonus room. Alright, JJ wants room 5. Alright. Send challenge. Greed time! Going for the wildfire room. And this could be a bit greed because there's nothing before 4. I want to see something cheap come up. That's not something cheap that could start swinging in to make the Iotachi Brutes cheaper. So a 2 or a 3 drop here would be great. Oh, and boy, we're getting the shards to make sure we hit our expensive drops. Oh no, a Sacred Stance already. And running shard drops. I mean, really, deck. I didn't think it was that bad a keep, but it's quickly proving itself to be that bad of a keep. Because Conscript is now just bringing the pain train. There's the Arendelle Monk I would have wanted turns ago. The only thing over a true drop are the Rune Blasts, but Fireballs do need 3 threshold. Yeah, so you've got your cheap kind of swing fast and hard build going. We just dead. I mean, I could play Surging Wildfire, but I'm dead on Crackback. Yeah, the risk about running an aggressive burn spell style deck is running out of gas. Which I know is kind of a pun considering Swamp, but you do want to make sure that you have a steady flow of cards coming in. So that is a 9/10 Deep Outcast Roka. Can't get shards, it doesn't matter. Alright, so we're gonna just Surging Wildfire the face so that we got some damage in. Because clearly we're dead next turn. Clearly, unambiguously dead next turn. Look at that, I even got to kill a troop. Alright, JJ has blasted through! Okay, so in retrospect that didn't go well. But I mean, look at how cheap this stuff is. Look at all that stuff that was in the deck that could have been found before turn 4. Alright, let's go for the bonus room. Alright, send me a challenge when you're ready. And that last song was... yeah, I just have it down as Gears of War 3 rock version, but I know Mad World is one of the songs that they used for promotion. Alright, JJ wants to knock out the last remaining bonus room of this dungeon. Oh, come on! Look at this! Heart of Embers, Arendelle Monk, Satyr's Roostbard. It's so good, but I can't take that risk of a one-shard keep. So we'll take this and say fine. Alright, let's see if I can get that to work. Error, the deck is private. The owner must make the deck public before you can see it. So you'll have to remember to re-click that or click that option to make the deck public, and then we can look at it. Right, so I think Ashwood Firebrand goes first. And Sacred Stance already. Satyr's Roostbard. When you play a Valor, draw a card. Or deploy. This gets +1/+1 for each of your Valor's troops. So I think I'm going to go this direction with it. Valor this first, and then Spring Dancer. Next turn, if there's no shard, can play a Valor on that, and then Satyr's Roostbard would come down as a 4/4. So now that changes the math, and I think Heart of Embers is correct, and we pray there's not a Bring to Justice. Another Sacred Stance. I think I want to snipe Dome here. Charge Power also gives another Valor. Alright, so Bring to Justice won't work on Heart of Embers anymore. Swinging all of these and leaving up enough resources for a Pyre Strike. So that'll knock that down to 1, and then the Swift Strike will take it out. Oh, never mind. Oh, that still works. Okay, so the future troops are still going to get bigger. So any conscripted troops right now are probably going to be ungodly big. Which is why Heart of Embers is shooting for Dome here. Yeah, like that's a 1-drop that's a 6/7, and that's a 4/3.
What is thy bidding?
Oh, we found the other one. We found the other one. I think that's just GG because Heart of Embers number 2. Valor, the Heart of Embers. Dome shot you for 6. Couldn't get there. Good games, JJ. Oh yeah, that's right. Because this is the bonus from the difficulties jacked. There's 4 Heart of Embers and there's 2 Lasgars in there, and the Satyr's Root Bar. So yeah, the challenge rooms are pretty tough, but also optional and guaranteed loot. I was still getting crazy with the two conscription bonuses there. All right, so we're gonna update the counter to 11. And I am adding into the... Yeah, he would need removal to have a chance there. Bring to Justice wouldn't really do it well against Valors, but there's a lot of other void effects that would have answered the threat. Alright, so Deathless Guardian is in the prize pool now. And I've got time for probably one final run here. So if there's anybody in chat who's not yet had a chance, Decree of Banishing would have done it, yep. If there's anybody who's not had any chance at all to play tonight, let me know. And we'll try to get you in. Otherwise, of the people who've played tonight and would want another shot at it, you know, speak up, let me know. And I think I will probably just do a roll-off of the people who would want to take another crack at it tonight. Just because if there's like 4 or 5 people who want to play, and I only have time for one, that's probably the fairest way to just do it right now. And at some point I will start doing, you know, as the number of people showing up to challenge the dungeon at every week grows, then I'm going to start doing like ticket raffles as a way to kind of pull winners that way. Alright, so we've got JJ, we've got GrenchVicte. I'm gonna refresh my glass of water and take another quick bathroom run here. So if anybody else wants to be entered for the roll-off here, you have another minute or so to speak up in chat, otherwise I will roll off between JJ and Grench. Alright, so I see only two names in chat for the roll-off, JJ and GrenchVicte. So, allow me a moment to reposition some of the stuff on my desk. Yes, new Kismet's Preserves. On the 28th, I need to try to give myself a flat surface. Alright. That's good enough. Opening 100 packs and doing giveaways that day if anyone feels like they won't have a chance to open many of them. If they cost 15,000 again, that's 100 and... No, that's 1.5 million, isn't it? Or am I doing the math wrong? Or is that 150,000? I'm too tired. Okay. So here's how we're gonna do the roll off. JJ is blue. GrenchVicte is kind of the reddish brown. So I'm gonna roll two different 12-sided dice, one for each of you, and whoever gets the higher number is going to be the person who has the final roll of the night. So that is the dice tray. I want to make sure that the camera's looking there, good there. Yep. None of this computerized shit. We're Dungeon Master's gonna roll things with proper dice. Get our Gax the Sly Roller on. Alright, so Grench's number is a 6. And oh my god, JJ is also a 6. So we gotta our roll-off is gonna have to continue. Oh, Grench. Grench has a 10. And JJ struck out with a 1. So, in the rare Dungeon Masters of Entrath real roll-off, GrenchVicte is our winner. I kind of like that as a way to settle things on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. Always the bridesmaid! Alright, Grench, you get a second chance. And as a reminder for everybody, I do this every Wednesday night. I start 7 p.m. Central Time, which is 5 p.m. Pacific. We run 3 hours to about 10 p.m. Central Time, which would be, I guess 8 Pacific. Come on in, hang out, chat, have fun. I'm gonna let Grench go first. Dangerous, I know, but I want to see some farts. Oh no! I'll go first and mull to 5. Stuck on shards again. I want to see some farts. Things you can only hear on Dungeon Masters of Entrath. But with Swamp, but you can actually see the farts because they're red and gaseous and billowing. let me see if I already had that in my browser, so all I have to do is hit refresh. Okay, yep. It unlocked, or it's available now, so I can see that. Once you fart, you tend to fart more. Alright, so Dread Botanist first, actually. No! Botanist gets burned. Alright, I'm going to remember this time to get my counter at least off of it for the Dread Factory before it goes away. And Chewish, I am going to bookmark your deck into my favorites. I have an entire hex folder of hex links, so that I can study that in better detail when I'm not streaming. Because I see you've got all the perks in there, you've got all the cards and stuff in there, so I want to actually pay attention to that, but I'm not going to be able to do that while streaming. So I guess on 3 resources the play is to Shoku's Factory. Or Shoku's Garden. And then I'll probably just exhaust these to start working on the factory that already has some counters on it. Can you send my apologies to JJ? At least his deck would be doing stuff. Don't think this is too entertaining to watch. Yeah, so why can I not do these? Alright, so just telling GrenchVicte, no worries, we're very chill around here. You know, I don't want... Kismet is Kismet, we all have bad games. And sometimes it sucks, and I don't want people to feel like really bad or embarrassed about it. Because the whole spirit of Dungeon Masters of Entrath is to be super chill. Yeah, it's a funsies match. This is kitchen table hex with a little bit of structure to it in terms of deck order, and I'm volunteering up some prizes if anybody can kick my ass 5 times in a row. Yay, Shard! You've mathed your way out of bad games. Or you aggressively fate weave. Alright, there's our first dose of gas. Well, he's got to 3, and that was, we were told that's the magic number. Why did I choose blood? I hope there's nothing in here that needs double wild. Your current farming deck uses 0 Fate Weave cards, but turn 2 wins 100% of the time. Get mathed on, Brosif. Are you farming the arena or are you farming dungeons? Alright, so Bulky got immediately hated out of the game. dungeons just for the Kismet Pack gold. It's a 2 koi variant. Oh, we're seeing some gas now. Yeah, I've been doing some arena runs. I have yet to find any of the dragons. You know, Explosion's a lot better with a troop to hit. The challenge for Swamp Gas, though, is that every time a Dreadling dies, we're gaining a health. So, I can see it being tough for this kind of a build that's very Ruby action heavy to be able to actually damage us faster than Dreadlings are going to gain the health back. Would be happy to be proven wrong. It'd be quite interesting, but I think Shoku's Garden is a lot to overcome. What am I doing? I should be... Alright, so I'll take my 2 points of damage. I should be actually just using those to get the second factory online. You've seen one dragon in your Hex career started just before set 3. You have seen as many dragons as I have. I encountered Urnaz once and I lost. With your farming encounter or build, there's one encounter that you have a 0.5% chance to lose. It's hardcore math. Yeah, I had Urnaz down to like 2 health, and then I lost. And I just had to like stand up and walk away from the keyboard because of how rare it is. Yeah, sure. Don't think. Don't think, just swing. Don't think I'll be able to stop Garden. Yeah, Garden health gain's pretty rough for burn. Morphin having the better luck. 2 Urnaz encounters, 2 wins. You have a chance at losing. Yeah, most of my farming I do on Monday nights while I watch the General's tent. That's my primary gold farming hours. Oh, the crackling magma. Well, we still get all our health. I've been holding that one up for when I use the charge power. I only farmed during the General's tent too, aside from that. That time isn't the General's tent. Yeah. Well, it's easy to farm during the General's tent because they hardly ever, they don't, you know, it's a talk show. They don't stream gameplay. so you can just have them on and look over at the screen. I mean, look at chat when you want to engage with chat. Look at the screen if they're showing something on screen. But otherwise, you can just listen to them and do your thing. Farming, so I'm there every week. So I think this one's pretty out of reach because now Swampbite is in the burn problem of being in top decking mode, and we're gaining 4 health a turn or more. Next time I'll try a Popper Mill. I want to see some mills. Alright, we can't get it to a charge power. We'll just alpha. Alright, so let's update the prize pool. That's another 2,000 gold in there. So the prize pool now has 15,000 gold in it, which should be enough for a Kismet's Preserve pack. I'm assuming they keep the price the same. Alright, so that's going to do it for me for tonight, folks. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Thank you to all 7 folks who took at least one crack at the dungeon tonight. That's awesome. Really appreciate the participation. Enjoyed playing some casual games with y'all. Enjoyed the chat. Again, I do this every Wednesday night from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time, aka 5 to 8 Pacific. And I am considering expanding it to a second night of the week as well, either probably Tuesday or Thursday, because Monday's the general tent, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday I usually try to have like weekend plans or something, so I don't want to be locked into a stream. So I'm still kind of thinking that through, but we've been doing Wednesdays for 5 months now, so you can count on definitely I will be here Wednesday and we'll be doing things. So glad y'all had fun, and I hope to see you again next week. Let's see if there's anybody around we can host. Following Hex TCG. I should have had this up because usually I like to see who's. Alright, Mokog is still going. Saru's on. Then there's me. So I will take down the stream. I'm going to throw y'all King Saru's way as the newest official channel streamer. And hope you all have a good night, and hope to see you again next week.